Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be going through PSLE 2020 question number 18. So Yipeng put an ice cube at the bottom of the tube of water. He heated the water near the top. So heat source is being applied at the top only. He slanted the test tube at the side. So after some time, the water at the top started to boil. However, the ice cube did not melt. So which statement best explains why the ice cube did not melt at all? So over here, actually this is a real life experiment that a lot of people conduct to try to prove something. Okay? They really want to find out if water is a good or poor conductor of heat. That is the main idea. So in real life, what people do is that actually people fill in a test tube with water, put a wire mesh or iron block on top of an ice cube below. So this is the ice cube. Okay, so what happened after a while, right, is that the person will apply a heat source over here, and you can see that there's bubbles coming out because the water is starting to boil. Okay, but what is interesting is that, right, this part of the water, right, it is actually not boiling. Okay, in this case, and you can see that the ice cube remained as a solid state. Okay, one would think that if you apply heat source on top, naturally the heat will be conducted down below to the ice cube to cause it to melt. Then therefore you will not see the ice cube. But it is not being seen in this case, or at least for this case of this experiment. Okay, for this part. Okay, so the purpose of this wire mesh over here is really to do one thing. Okay, it will sink to the bottom of the test tube and push the ice cube down so that it will not float up. Because if the ice cube float out, right, then this whole experiment will not work, right? So over here, the concept over here, right, is to really show you that after some time, right, you will see that the top of the water started to boil, but the bottom of the ice cube remained as a solid state. It did not melt at all. It's really show you this part of the water column. It actually takes a lot of time for the heat to be conducted from the top to the bottom. Hence, it's actually trying to say that water is actually indeed a poor conductor of heat, and it will take a long time for it to conduct the heat from the part where it is boiling to the ice cube. Hence, it will take a longer time to melt. Then this is the likely explanation to this experiment. So let's take a look over here, right? Which of the explanation best explain? Okay, in this case, heat flow only in the upward direction. This is wrong. Okay, this is definitely wrong. A wrong statement, and it does not explain. Okay, because heat flow in any direction. Okay, and it must be from a higher temperature to lower temperature. So straight away, this is a false statement, and it is not true. Okay, and furthermore, it does not explain why the ice cube did not melt. Remember, the focus is this: why the ice cube did not melt. Okay, so there might be some true statement, but it just does not explain. Okay, so let's take a look at this part. Heat was used to boil the water near the top. This is a true statement. True statement, but does not explain. It does not explain why the ice cube did not melt. It did not. It does not explain for this part. So therefore, number two, it is wrong. Okay, but heat is indeed used to boil the water at the top. Heat passes through the water very slowly to the ice cube. Yes, indeed, this is correct. Because the water over here, right, it is indeed a poor conductor of heat. So the heat conducted very slowly, okay, to the ice cube. Therefore, the ice cube did not melt. But if you give it long enough, maybe one day, definitely the ice cube would have melted because if you give it enough time, right, the heat will naturally be conducted to the ice cube to cause the ice cube to change its state, right? And as the ice cube increase in temperature and reach the melting point. Therefore, 3 is the best option to explain why the ice cube did not melt, because the heat conducted very, very slowly. Okay, for the last part, definitely 4 cannot be the answer because 3 is the correct answer, right? So over here, melting. Let's take a look. Okay, melting point of ice cube was higher than the boiling point of water. Okay, melting point of ice cube is 0 degree, higher than boiling point of water. Can 0 be higher than boiling point of water? Definitely no, right? So this part is actually a false statement, and it also does not explain. Actually, by right, if this were to be a true statement, it also does not explain. So the correct statement for this to be correct, right? But it still does not explain. It should be lower. Okay, 4 is wrong. Okay, so over here, so number 3 should be the correct answer. Thank you very much.